Hey, I'm John Weber. I'm here with Ryan Palmer and Travis Engel. We're at the 2018 Bible Bike Tests in Marquette, Michigan. And today we are going to tell you a little bit about Ibis's new Ripley LS. This bike got some kind of minor changes for 2018. It got a new rear end, which has wider clearance for bigger tires. And they beefed up, they actually made the eccentrics a little bit bigger. I think for improved durability and stiffness. What did you guys think of this bike on the trail?
Well, I mean, I think I should actually throw that question back at you because you actually have the previous version of it.
Well, I'll do my best to catch that question. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a majorly changed bike, right? Like the geometry is the same, the kinematics, the pedaling characteristics are largely unchanged, but it still climbs like the rocket ship that the old one was.
Oh yeah, yeah. This thing is an insane climber for sure. I think DW Link bikes have that trait. The original Ripley was the first bike I ever felt the bike hovering over ground feeling on, which is remarkable. Like you're putting power into the pedals and it just cruises over anything while the suspension is reacting to it.
And to say that about a 120 millimeter travel frame is huge. We've ridden a few longer travel bikes that gobble stuff up on the climbs. But for such a moderate travel bike to do the same thing is rad. You get that kind of cross-country firmness and that responsiveness on smooth climbs, but hovering on the rough stuff.
Yeah.
And just the ride position on it is I'll say conservative. Like it's not like you're fighting the geometry when you're climbing. So the suspension and the frame itself is kind of rocket shippy.
Yeah, but this sizing wise, I mean, it says LS on it, and it stands for long and slack, but it's kind of like calling a fat guy tiny, right? I mean, it's longer and slacker than the previous Ripley, but it's very short in comparison to other bikes. We ordered the XL, which is shorter in the reach than a lot of the larges we're riding here.
It's like they could shift their whole sizing scheme down a size,
right?
And then it'd be pretty accurate. How did that play on the descents?
Well, on my first run, it was a disaster. I was like this. I was like, what? Like, why are? I thought there weren't any XC bikes this year. I just kind of feel like I'm in the slow motion black and white scene in the infomercial of don't descend like this, you know.
That's insane. I've ripped on this bike.
I did
ultimate confidence for me.
So my second run, I took off the flat 760 millimeter bars.
Which I love.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you put on the bars that work for you.
Yeah. Put on wider, a little bit taller bars where I was able to tell the bike what to do a little bit better and totally turned me around. The frame is so much stiffer than the Ripleys I've ridden in the past. I rode the very first one and I was like, Ibis Mojo is redefining trail. You can ride it however you want. This has got to be the same thing, and it just really wasn't.
The first one was kind of just a step up from XC, wasn't it? You know, I remember riding that bike and I was very impressed by it, but it wasn't quite enough. It was I want a little bit more trail, you know?
Yeah, and I have the first generation LS, which there have only been 2.
Yeah.
And it's a really fun bike to descend on. I feel like I can play around with it, and it's pretty dang confident in the rough stuff, but yeah, it's a little soft in the back for sure. You can feel it in the corners, especially. This I thought was plenty stiff. I didn't have any issues in that respect.
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel like I could get it up to speed the way I could on, say, the Evil Following or the Norco Sight.
Yes, it's more pick your line. It's not a just point and shoot kind of bike, right?
Yeah.
What I did like about it in that regard is I could choose my line. I'm heading down the same gnarly descents, but I'm I'm going to change direction right here. I'm going to change direction right here, and I could pick those lines with more precision than maybe I could on some of the other little bit slacker bikes.
And that's just a feel you tend to prefer in general.
Yeah, I'm a guy who likes fast handling, twitchier bikes.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way about this as I did the new Niner Jet 9 RDO.
Yeah.
Also 120, 130 bike, and you can mob with it. I mean, you can charge through stuff, but that may not necessarily be its strong suit. Its strong suit is just like you said, picking lines and maneuvering and popping around a little bit.
Yeah. It was poppy though. I remember on some of the descents, I could air higher and farther on stuff than I could on some of the more like ground huggy bikes. Like the Evil following is a little bit more ground huggy. I mean, that bike is poppy and playful too. And this one has much longer chainstays than the Evil does, but I still found it to be a quite playful bike regardless of those numbers.
Yeah, and if you like that playful feel and you want the climbing performance that this bike offers, what you can do, I think, is put a 140 fork on it, which is how I have my setup.
Yeah.
That'll slacken out the front a little bit, give you a little bit more length to the wheelbase, and then you slap a short stem and a wide bar on, and it's a pretty confident, fun-feeling bike.
This is the kind of bike that I think is really well suited to like deep backwoods kind of adventure riders, like something where efficiency and speed is key, but you don't know what you're going to run into and you want it to handle it.
Oh yeah.
And this thing can handle it.
Yeah, like you want to be able to go and get lost, but also like not kill yourself doing so energy-wise. Yeah. I would take this thing on bike packs and stuff. Like it's, I think it's a great bike for that kind of a thing.
There's our take on the Ibis Ripley LS. Be sure to subscribe to Bike Magazine on YouTube so you don't miss out on any of our other Bible bike test videos.